Hello, everybody. Welcome to the season two Pipeline Pioneers, where our goal, our objective is to learn from the fellow practitioners and the experts in the industry as to how to build and scale the pipeline that ultimately converts into revenue. Aren't many people that are well qualified to have on my podcast than Mason Cosby. Mason, welcome to the show.
No, thank you so much for being here. I'm excited to dig into it.
Yeah, so you're a second-time guest. As it takes a village to, come together to build a pipeline. Pipeline is the heart and blood of any organization. Tell the audience about you, your business, and your role in building the pipeline.
Yeah, so I run an agency called Scrappy ABM. We build ABM programs using current tooling and technology, focused on good strategies and good processes. So we have built about 11.8 million in pipeline in the past 19 months, entirely through organic email podcasting, and currently have about 2.6 in open and 3 million in closed. So we've done that through a lot of speaking, a lot of podcasting, a lot of social, and then in the past few months, building up more of the owned audiences, and then also hiring an AE that's been doing some outbound as well. So it's been a lot. It's been rapid growth, and my role is largely at this point primarily focused on awareness and evangelism and education. So I spend most of my time there and then hopping on sales calls and helping our AEs close.
That's awesome, and congratulations for all this growth. This growth wouldn't come if you didn't dial in your ICP. I remember last year when you were on a pod, you were still trying to figure out who your ICP is. So walk us through the importance of ICP and what are the tools that you're using to figure out who your ICP is.
Yeah, so I mean, to your point, this time last year, I think for any early stage organization, they should focus more on the problem that they solve versus trying to clearly define who they solve the problem for. I thought I was going to be a marketing agency for marketing agencies because I had really good experience in the marketing agency space. And what I found is they were really, really bad customers, typically. Had a lot of weird experiences on that front where people actually literally stole our IP and presented it off as their own. So it's like, all right, it's not our market. So when we looked at the more we spoke about the problem, which is ABM is typically hard because of lack of alignment, difficulty around measurement, difficulty around data sourcing, like all these core standard problems. We just talked a lot about the problems came in, and it was these very niche, typically vertical SaaS or very purpose-built SaaS platforms. So typically in the $20 to $100 million range, 3 to 8 marketers, a US-based team, clearly had product market fit, already had a sales team in seat that was doing some outbound. And the main challenge is that they couldn't get marketing and sales on the same page and didn't have a thoughtful approach to determining their ICP. So the thoughtful approach that we tried to take to find our ICP is, again, looking at who's actually coming to us based on the evangelism of a problem. And then the other thing is looking at finance data, looking at actual client profitability. What I look at is imagine your top 20% of best customers that are highest profit, they give you great results on your NPS scores, they refer other business. Imagine if you had that 20%, but then the other 80% looked a whole lot like those. That's an ABM program. Determine their top 20. Why don't we build a program to go get more of those? And then we just back customers or grow with that representation. So that was the approach. That was how we thought through it. And that's when we even determined our own ICP after about a year and a half.
That's awesome. That's awesome. So no tool, it's mostly, figuring it out, the customers that are profitable and just go find more lookalike customers.
Yeah, I mean, there's two sides to it. So one, for context, we are a services-based business, so we track all of our time. So we actually had ClickUp as our product management tool, where we also did time tracking, so we could actually see time spent per client. So that's time spent per client divided by, or retainer amount divided by time spent gives you profitability relatively easily. So there's that, and then the other thing that we looked at is we do have a small data set, but I'm an advisor of a company called Boost Ideal, and they actually are an ICP development tool. So for those that have larger data sets, you can plug it in and it spits out an ICP that you should focus on. So that's a tool that we have used. Admittedly, I got it for free. I think it's a pretty good tool. But I also know that there's great tools from Sales Intel, like ICP Intel. So again, I think those are helpful for larger data sets. But as a guy that runs a company called Scrappy ABM, highly recommend you just do some back of the napkin math to get it directionally accurate, and then validate through different tools once you've gotten to a point where like we really want to like have this in lockstep.
Great, man. So AI is everywhere, right? We are all using AI in some way, shape, or form. Where do you see the promise of AI when it comes to pipeline generation? Which phase of pipeline generation do you think AI is just right?
Current state, and I don't think I'm unique in this perspective, but current state, I think it is a lot on the content creation front. When I look at what we've been able to do for ourselves, we've uploaded every podcast transcript that I've recorded into a shared GPT that's a knowledge base of my perspectives, and then ended up putting together an ABM maturity model that's like highly detailed step by step. How do you graduate from like stage 1, stage 2, stage 3, all the way to stage 6? And our content team is currently editing it and making sure that we agree with it. But I mean, that kind of an asset would have taken me hundreds of hours to write and compile and research. But because I had already uploaded all of my thoughts and transcripts into AI, I could use the deep research functionality in ChatGPT. Like, it made what would have taken me hundreds of hours. I still took probably 50 hours to put together. Like, it wasn't, just spit it out. Like, I refined it, I worked with it. But still, I mean, it's 90 pages of content that took me 50 hours and is third-party validated and researched. And I think it's probably one of the best written form assets that I've made ever. But I could not have done it in the time frame had it not been for the use of AI. So I think there's that. And then I think also inevitably, I'm just looking at some early tools right now that are looking at customer data in your CRM and helping you better surface accounts that are more ready to engage based on market trends plus engagement data plus fit criteria. So I mean, there's I think a lot that is happening that will be AI integrating into the database to better surface up accounts. So I think it's triggers, I think it's content. I still do think that there should be a human in the loop for all outbound programs right now. I think that AI can help, but I don't think it's fully outsourced to an AI SDR at this moment. But those are kind of some of the ways that I am seeing AI right now. And I do think that inevitably, and this is a shift in my perspective in the past 6 months. I think it's a year ago, people were like, what's your perspective on AI? And I was like, I don't have one. Like, I just think it's too early. I do think that pretty much most things that we do now, fast forward another year, will be AI assisted. Because it can just think faster and can compile so much data that I just cannot process on my own.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more with you. I'm so glad and relieved to hear that you bring up the point of human in the loop for anything human to human interaction. So, right on point. So, same thing, data analysis, content generation, pattern recognition. AI is going to be much faster than us and much cheaper than the resources that you put on. Awesome. Well, so you got your ICP dialed in, you got your AI tools dialed in. Where are you spending your dollars? So you're familiar with the 100 penny exercise, right? That we do.
Oh,
here.
yeah.
So your 100 pennies. Your goal is to build the best pipeline for your business. How are you investing these $100 in 2025?
The challenge for me is, I myself is marketing, so I know I'm a founder, but. So we'll put probably 2 pennies on founder-led growth.
All right,
I'll put 2 pennies.
Hey, you know what? Don't be apologetic for your own success.
It's working all right for right now.
Yeah.
I probably put 2 pennies on social-led growth because I think right now that's about the same for me as founder.
Yep.
We are getting so heavy on the marketing front through email and webinars and more podcasts. So I'm actually going to put 3 on marketing-led growth.
Let's put 3 on marketing.
I'm going to put 1 on customer-led growth.
Yep.
We don't have a great expansion motion right now, but we are getting much better at asking our customers to provide testimonials and case studies and also referrals. So we've gotten way more referrals this year through our customers, which has been great. And lastly, I put 2 on sales-led growth. I did not think I was going to hire an account executive for years, but we hired an AE in January, and it has been life-changing for me personally. We close better. He's getting higher deal values. because he can dedicate more time to it. So I mean, it was probably one of the best moves for us as a business to hire an AE.
Yeah, couldn't agree more with you. What was your inflection point going from purely founder-led sales to now I'm going to hire the AE? And is the AE doing full cycle for you?
Yes. I mean, we've got the one salesperson. So our marketing and our revenue team is like me, a marketing director, and a salesperson. So on a team of 15, 3 of them are on the revenue generation side. So I mean, he is full cycle in that sense. The impetus for that is thinking about it from a leverage perspective, and this is going to sound very odd, but we found that the highest leverage activities for me to grow the business were to create content and to network with other industry leaders and to just be more out there. And we got to a point where we had great pipeline, but my COO about 9 months ago called it and was like, "Your LinkedIn content is terrible. Like your podcast episodes are worse. Like your content quality is decreasing significantly."
Yep.
And we had a pretty significant dip in pipeline the first 2 months of this year. When normally we'd see pipeline up in an agency world, like there's some laggards that buy in January, February, but like pipeline was down, and we associate it back to, obviously there's a lot that happened at the start of this year. But in addition, we built less awareness and engagement last year because I personally was so slammed and could not manage everything well.
Yeah.
When we look at it through that lens, as much as I love selling,
yeah,
I could hire a salesperson. I cannot hire another me to create leading thoughts and content.
Yeah, no, such a great thought here. So let's look at the benchmark. So this is your peers. This is where they're investing their dollars, right? And I'm going to overlay Mason's investments. When you look at this chart, anything surprises you?
I want to say yes, but honestly, no. Like, you know, we're a service-based business. So like, admittedly, I'm not investing in product-led growth. It's not a thing for us. I'm always shocked by the smaller investment in marketing led. Admittedly, as I referenced earlier, I mean, 11 million pipeline for business has been around for like 19 months. Nothing to scoff at. And that's all more like that was all inbound. So like, kind of hard to argue that works for us. I'm not really shocked by most of this, other than honestly the higher investment in community and partnership. That's surprising. Not because I don't think it's the right investment for a lot of people, but I just don't think people often value it as much.
Great. Awesome. Mason, thank you so much for coming on the pod again and sharing your thoughts. You know, our community is always looking to hear from experts like you. So thank you.